In just 6 minutes, you will have a solid grip on typical cybersecurity threats like malware or data breaches, and you will understand the protections like encryption or firewalls. Okay, picture this. You're a doctor and you've just finished a patient appointment, typed up the notes, and you hit save on your computer. That computer is what we call the client. Those notes leave your computer, travel across the internet, and land on the hospital's server. This process introduces two main states for data. Data at rest, when it's stored on the client or the server, and data in transit, when it's traveling across the internet. Sounds simple, right? But this flow has its cyber threats that are lurking at any corner. The first battleground is the doctor's computer. First, unauthorized access. If the doctor uses a weak password, anyone can log in and mess with sensitive patient records. Then there's malware, malicious software that sneaks in through phishing emails or shady websites. Once inside, it could steal notes or even let hackers take over the entire computer. So how do we protect against those threats? We use something most users find incredibly annoying, multi-factor authentication, like a password plus a code sent to your phone to make sure only the right person can log in. We also rely on antivirus software to catch and block malware. With these protections, the doctor's computer becomes a lot harder to break into. And then we need to secure the server, the hospital's treasure chest. Here's why this is such a big deal. The server doesn't just store the data of one doctor and their patients, it holds the data of all patients and doctors. If hackers manage to break in, the consequences can compromise the entire hospital's sensitive information. So what are the threats? They're very similar to the client side, but amplified. We have again unauthorized access. If system admins use weak passwords, hackers can break in and steal everything. Then we have malware again. A virus on the doctor's computer can actually hitch and write with patient notes and then infect the entire server. And then some systems might run on old software with known vulnerabilities. These outdated systems are like a rusty lock that hackers just already know how to exploit. So once the hackers are inside, they can steal data, so the infamous data breach, and maybe they're going to sell the patient records somewhere online on the dark web. Or hackers can install ransomware. They lock up all the files of the server so you cannot access them anymore. And then they send a demand saying, pay us thousands of dollars or you will never get your data back. The third thing is they can tamper with data. Hackers don't just steal or lock data, they can change it. Imagine a patient's prescriptions being swapped for the wrong medication, or critical medical history being deleted. And sometimes it's not just about stealing or locking data. It's sometimes about shutting down the whole system. Enter the DDoS-Attack, distributed denial of service. Hackers use a network of hijacked computers, called a botnet, to flood the server with fake requests. So legitimate users, like doctors or nurses, cannot access it anymore. So how do we defend the server? There's access control. Only trusted staff should have access to sensitive data, like admin users. Some companies even go as far to make sure to check criminal records before they grant admin rights to anyone. And when someone leaves the role, you have to revoke their access immediately. Firewalls. They are like digital bouncers for unwanted traffic. For example, a hospital's firewall can be set to only allow connections from within the country. So let's say you're in a hospital in Brazil and the firewall can be configured to only allow requests from Brazil. If a user in Poland tries to access the system, the firewall blocks the request. And then updating and patching hospital systems closes the gaps hackers already know about. So set up automatic updates or schedule regular maintenance. And this is also where the secure coding principle comes in, and OWASP can help with that. To protect against DDoS attacks, we use smart tools to spot fake traffic and block it before it reaches the server. We also spread incoming requests across multiple servers, so no single server gets overwhelmed, and limit how many requests each device can actually send. Last but not least, encryption. Encryption for data at rest means converting stored data into an unreadable format unless you have the correct decryption key. This way, even if hackers gain access to server or steal files, all they see is just a jumble of meaningless symbols. Cool, so now we have secured the server and the client, but data still has to travel between each of them, and we secure this journey again thanks to encryption, this time in transit. Just like we encrypt data at rest, we scramble it as it travels so anyone intercepting it only sees gibberish. This is where tools like HTTPS, that lock that you see in your browser, and TLS, Transport Layer Security, come in. They create a secure tunnel for data to travel safely across the internet. Of course, there's so much more about cybersecurity. Topics like phishing, zero-day vulnerabilities, social engineering are just the tip of the iceberg. Follow the channel if you want to have more simple breakdowns of technology.